Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, that was
My
fun.
gimbal just punched me in my face.
We also got Aiden in the back getting some in-car view of the dash here, so you can see. Yeah, this is fun. What is up, guys? Nick from SOHO Motorsports, and we've got another build to talk about. This time it's a 2009 Infiniti G37 all-wheel drive SOHO V2 air-to-air E85. Let's dive into this one. Our SOHO V2 air-to-air supercharger system. This was a setup that Bradyn decided to go with on his vehicle, as he wanted to go from stock to basically what all it can do on the stock motor on E85 with the fuel return system. So a G37 sedan, this one came to us from Wisconsin, so quite a ways away from us. A lot of our clients do transport their vehicles to us to get these builds done to them. So if you're looking to have a build done, please contact us. We can provide transportation information and also get your build done to the caliber of horsepower that you're wanting to have. So let's talk about this particular build here as to what went into this build. It's a 2009 Infiniti G37 all-wheel drive model. So as with anything that we always talk about, anytime you want to go force induction, you want to make sure that you take care of the oil gallery gaskets. This vehicle had 146,000 miles on it. We did an oil gallery gasket test by testing the oil pressure to see what the oil pressure was, and lo and behold, it did read low, and we actually found material of the oil gallery gasket in the lower oil pan when we were inspecting everything. So good call on getting the oil gallery gaskets done in this vehicle. Like I say, a lot of times why these vehicles do fail is they will lose oil pressure and thus have the motor fail. When you're adding boost, please make sure to check your oil gallery gaskets. As I say, that is the #1 cause as to what causes these vehicles to fail, losing oil pressure when adding boost. Make sure you take care of that. Let's talk about what this vehicle did as a baseline number before we did the supercharger setup. We put it on the dyno. We did disconnect the all-wheel drive module on this vehicle, which can be found underneath the glove box. This little box you unplug and it disconnects the all-wheel drive, as the all-wheel drive on the Infinitis is not a true all-wheel drive setup. It is all-wheel drive setup up to about 25 miles an hour. Then after 25 mile an hour, it reverts to a rear-wheel drive. So being able to disconnect that all-wheel drive module before we dyno it allows us to basically dyno the car in rear-wheel drive. Let's see what kind of numbers this vehicle put down when it was NA, no tune, prior to it going boost. So put down 296 wheel and 242 foot-pounds of torque. Great power. As you can expect, it is going to be a little bit lower. You are going to see more drivetrain loss through a all-wheel drive and an automatic, which is about 25% from the motor to the tires. So let's go into the fun part. What all went into this build for him to get the horsepower goal he was shooting for, which was over 600 wheel. So it does have the 5-pound pulley on this vehicle with the SOHO V2 air-to-air setup. It was the stock VHR transmission, so we weren't able to really push it as far as torque. As you guys are aware, 4 to 450-ish is where the stock VHR transmission tends to fail. So we wanted to try to keep it around 400 to 450 foot-pounds, as that's the level of torque that these things will fail on the stock VHR transmission. Now, if you had a VR transmission, you wouldn't have to worry about it. However, in this instance, we did have the stock VHR transmission, so we had to be kind of careful as to what kind of torque we kept everything at. We did upgrade the flex plate to the Fast Intentions flex plate, which does allow us to get a little bit more out of the stock VHR transmission. However, we are going to be limited as to how much power we can actually put down on the stock VHR transmission. Now, let's jump over to fueling. What kind of fueling did we use whenever we wanted to do the supercharger setup along with E85? So CJM fuel return system, 1300cc injectors, and the 525 Hellcat pump. Very standard setup that we use on any of our boosted applications. And do keep in mind, anytime you are using a supercharger, you are going to be requiring more fuel than a turbocharger, just because the engine is having to overcome that loss of having to drive the supercharger, which in turn will require more fuel. Now, the interesting thing about the sedans is the way that the gas tank is set up, you're not able to run a twin pump setup. So a lot of times, whenever we're getting into a situation where we're running high E content, high boost, we will use a mechanism called the booster pump, very familiar in the domestic market on the Mustangs, which basically increases the voltage of the fuel pump and allows us to get more out of the fuel pump. That is a little cheat code for all the sedan guys that are looking to make a little bit more power and run full 85. Just because around E50, E60, you tend to kind of run out of pump on a supercharger car when you start really leaning on boost pressures, 15, 16 PSI. You start to see that pump can't handle it. So guys that are looking to make a little bit more power on their sedans, look into the boost to pump. So with everything being done on the fuel setup, like I said, still stock motor, supercharger setup, and everything, we got it on the dyno. We did pump gas first, and then we basically added some E85 and increased the ethanol content to about E50, E60. So let's talk about what kind of power this vehicle put down on pump gas. So we did 2 maps on pump gas. The first map on pump gas is going to be the more aggressive setup on pump gas, and it put down 572 and 405 foot-pounds of torque at 12.57 PSI, which is going to be great power for the all-wheel drive automatic on pump gas. Now his second map, which is going to be a little bit lower as far as power, it put down 530 and 375 at 12.9 PSI. So on pump gas, he's making over 550 wheel on pump gas on his aggressive map, and a little bit over 500 at the 530 mark on his lower map. So this thing's gonna be fun on pump gas. All the guys that are wanting to make power and shoot for that horsepower goal, this is gonna be your setup. The 5 PSI pulley, turbo guard, you better make this power on your automatic transmission or even your manual. Your manual will be a little bit higher in regards to powers. So if you're looking to go boost, this is gonna be the setup that you wanna go with. Now let's talk about what it put down when we put ethanol in the tank. So we left about 1/4 of a tank of 93 in the gas tank. We added some E90. That equated the ethanol content to be around E60. And so first map that we did on E60, which is going to be the aggressive map that we refer to. So it put down 629 and 434 foot-pounds of torque at 13.85 PSI. Now you may ask, why did it make a little bit more PSI? Well, as you increase RPM, it's going to increase boost. So we ran the RPM out a little bit more as far as rev limiter on the E85 map to allow us to make a little bit more boost, thus in turn allowing us to make more power. So that is why we were able to increase about a PSI or so from the pump gas to the ethanol map in regards to tuning. Now on the last map, which is going to be his less conservative map in regards to power, it put down 580 and 406 foot-pounds of torque at 13.42 PSI. So all in all, massive amounts of horsepower that was picked up from when the vehicle came in to when the vehicle left. So if you were to take the amount of power the vehicle put down when it first came in at 296 wheel and you basically put it up next to the 629 map, that's a 333 horsepower increase and 192 foot-pounds of torque. That's a massive amount of power through an automatic all-wheel drive G37. So this car is going to be an absolute blast. We'll go for a ride with Bobby, see what it does. All right, here, so we are in Bradyn's 2009 G37 all-wheel drive, long tube headers, SOHO V2 air-to-air, E85, horsepower, all of it, right? All of it. So this should be a pretty interesting combo. This will be my first all-wheel drive that I've ridden in on E. We did Doug's. Doug was fast on pump, so I can only imagine what this thing's gonna be on E. Did you drive Doug's?
I did drive Doug's, okay. Yes. Yes, that one's definitely a lot of fun. These sedans are just something a little bit different. I really like them.
Yeah. The sleeper method, right? Because you have the stock wheels. It just looks like a car with an exhaust on it at this point.
Right.
So we'll do a couple pulls here in Mexico and then see what it's like, because I'm sure this thing is gonna rip. Did 629 wheel on the dyno. So, and as you guys are aware, there are a lot of drivetrain losses when you go from manual to auto all-wheel drive. So it's almost like 25% from the motor to the wheels at that point. So this thing's making like what, 650 wheel if it was a rear-wheel drive manual, if not more. Here we go, downshift. Still has a stock VHR transmission too, so this is not a VR transmission. Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, that one That was
My
fun.
gimbal just punched me in my face.
We also got Aiden in the back getting some in-car view of the dash here, so you can see. Yeah, this is fun.
Nothing to a lot real quick.
No, literally, as soon as you got on it, bam, boom,
God.
cock set up, man.
We're there.
That was fun. Yeah, he'll enjoy this, man. This
Now I
is
see
gonna be
why
fun.
people like all-wheel drives.
Yeah, all-wheel drive is definitely the move, man. All go, no slip.
That was from second too. That was all of the beans.
Oh wow. Yeah, it was all go at that point, man. Yeah, he'll definitely enjoy this. About to do another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll wait for.
Wait for the traffic to
Yeah.
get out of the way, so that way. Oh man, superchargers, man. Something about it, man.
That all-wheel drive is just like perfectly stable too. Like that car just rockets straight ahead.
We got 3 people in the car too, and it still took off. Golly.
I feel like me and my Mustang with just me.
Yeah, no, this is, he's definitely going to enjoy it. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button below, and we'll catch you on the next one.